For 2 years, almost no one noticed what Toyota had just done. While the world argued about kilowatts, charging speeds, and which electric car would dominate the future, Toyota quietly rolled out a $13,000 pickup truck with a petrol engine. No flashy stage, no dramatic promises, just a simple name, the Hilux Champ. And at first, it didn't look important. But the real question isn't why Toyota built it. The real question is why they built it now. Because on the surface, it makes no sense. The headlines were owned by companies like Tesla and BYD. Electric was the future. Batteries were the revolution. Petrol was supposed to be fading into history. Yet Toyota went in the opposite direction. Not loudly, not defensively, just quietly. And that silence is what makes this story uncomfortable. Here's what most people missed. The EV revolution, as powerful as it looks, is still concentrated in major cities and wealthy markets. Places with stable electricity, dense charging networks, government incentives. But the world is much larger than that. Beyond the glass towers and clean highways are farms, construction sites, small workshops, and delivery routes that start before sunrise. In those places, a vehicle isn't a statement. It's survival. Toyota understood something that doesn't trend well on social media. Most people don't care about acceleration times. They care about whether their truck starts every morning. They care about whether it can be fixed by the local mechanic. They care about cost. And this is where the Hilux Champ quietly changes the game. At around $13,000, it undercuts not just electric vehicles, but many small gasoline cars. That price alone should have made headlines. It didn't, but this only matters once you see what that price actually allows, because this isn't just a cheap truck. It's a deliberate removal of everything unnecessary. No oversized screens, no complicated driver's assist systems that require software updates. No fragile luxury details. Just a strong frame, a practical bed, and an engine Toyota has refined for years. And that engine decision might be the most controversial part of the story. Instead of chasing experimental tech, Toyota equipped the Hilux Champ with proven petrol and diesel engines. Not glamorous, not revolutionary, but deeply understood. Any small-town mechanic can repair them. Parts are widely available. There are fewer sensors, fewer systems waiting to fail. In remote areas where service centers are hours away, that simplicity isn't boring. It's freedom. And this is where the tension builds. On paper, electric vehicles represent progress. Cleaner, quieter, smarter. But in large parts of Asia, Africa, and South America, charging infrastructure is inconsistent or non-existent. Electricity itself can be unreliable. Fuel stations, on the other hand, are everywhere. Toyota didn't ignore the future. It acknowledged the present. The Hilux name carries weight for a reason. For decades, the Hilux has been known as the truck that refuses to die. Deserts, mountains, mud, overloaded beds. It keeps going. By attaching the Champ to that legacy, Toyota didn't need to convince buyers of durability. The trust was already there. And that trust changes everything. Because when a farmer in a rural town considers buying a vehicle, he's not comparing battery chemistry. He's calculating risk. Can I afford it? Will it last 10 years? If it breaks, can someone fix it today? For small business owners making daily deliveries, downtime isn't an inconvenience. It's lost income. For construction crews hauling cement and steel, reliability is non-negotiable. The Hilux Champ fits into these lives almost invisibly. It adapts. Open bed today. Converted cargo body tomorrow. Delivery vehicle next year. It doesn't demand lifestyle changes. It doesn't require new habits. It simply works. And that might be more disruptive than any headline-grabbing launch. Now here's the uncomfortable part. By offering both petrol and diesel options, Toyota made a statement without ever saying it out loud. Not every market is ready for full electrification. Not every customer benefits from cutting-edge technology. Sometimes, the smartest move isn't leading the parade. It's serving the majority quietly. Was this backward thinking? Or was it strategic patience? Because while electric vehicles continue expanding in wealthy regions, billions of people still rely on conventional engines. For them, affordability and usability outweigh innovation. And when Toyota delivers a truck that is accessible, repairable, and built to last, it doesn't just sell a vehicle. It reinforces a philosophy. The Hilux Champ doesn't try to look like the future. It looks like the present, solid, practical, unapologetic, and maybe that's the point. So here's the question no one asked when it launched. In a world obsessed with what's next, did Toyota quietly win by focusing on what already matters? Because sometimes the boldest move isn't revolution, it's restraint. And the real disruption isn't always electric. And to understand why that restraint might be more powerful than revolution, you have to look at what usually happens when industries chase the future too fast, when new technology explodes onto the scene. Early adopters celebrate, investors celebrate, media celebrates, but the people in the middle, the ones who actually depend on their vehicles, every single day they hesitate. Not because they're resistant to change, but because they can't afford uncertainty. Imagine you run a small vegetable distribution business in a rural town. Every morning before sunrise, your truck leaves loaded. If it doesn't start, your produce spoils. If it breaks down mid-route, you lose money instantly. Now ask yourself, would you gamble that on new charging infrastructure that may or may not work consistently? Or on battery replacement costs you don't fully understand yet? That's the silent tension Toyota leaned into. The Hilux Champ isn't trying to compete with electric trucks in cities like Los Angeles or Shanghai. It's competing in places where reliability beats innovation, where predictability beats excitement. And that changes the competitive battlefield entirely. Because here's what makes the $13,000 price truly disruptive. It lowers the barrier to entry. For many first-time buyers, especially in developing regions, owning a pickup truck was once out of reach. Now, it becomes possible. Not as a luxury, but as a tool, and tools create economic movement. A farmer who owns his own truck no longer depends on renting transport. A small contractor can take on larger jobs. A delivery startup can scale without massive upfront costs. The Hilux Champ quietly becomes a multiplier. It enables income. It reduces dependency. It gives control. But this is where the story gets even more interesting. Toyota didn't just make it cheap, they made it modular. The structure allows different body configurations: flatbed, enclosed cargo box, mobile shop, refrigerated delivery unit. In some markets, it's already being customized for micro businesses. And Toyota knew that would happen. They designed it with that flexibility in mind. That's not flashy innovation, that's strategic design. And this is where the industry miscalculated Toyota. Many assumed that by not aggressively pushing EV-only strategies, Toyota was falling behind. But what if they were diversifying risk instead? Electric vehicles rely heavily on infrastructure, policy support, and stable electricity grids. Those variables aren't consistent worldwide. Petrol and diesel, for now, are. By maintaining strong internal combustion platforms in markets that still depend on them, Toyota protects volume revenue and brand trust. And brand trust is the quiet currency here the Hilux name already carries. A reputation for durability in extreme conditions. From deserts to mountains, it's been tested. When customers hear Hilux Champ, they don't see an experiment. They see continuity. That reduces psychological risk. And in uncertain economies, reducing perceived risk can be more powerful than adding features. But here's the subtle shift that's easy to miss. The Hilux Champ isn't anti-electric. It's anti-dash assumption. It challenges the assumption that one solution fits all markets. It questions the narrative that newer automatically means better for everyone, and it forces competitors to confront an uncomfortable reality. Affordability still dominates purchasing decisions in most of the world. Now imagine being a competing automaker. You're investing billions into electrification. Your trucks are loaded with technology. Your price tags reflect it. Then Toyota steps in with a stripped-down, durable pickup that undercuts the market dramatically. Suddenly, the conversation changes from who has the most advanced truck to who actually serves the majority. That shift matters because global automotive dominance isn't won only in high-margin urban centers. It's won in volume markets. In regions where hundreds of thousands, even millions of practical vehicles move economies daily. And Toyota has always understood volume better than hype. But here's the part most people haven't considered yet. What if the Hilux Champ is also a bridge? A bridge between old and new. By keeping the platform simple and adaptable, Toyota leaves room for evolution. If infrastructure improves in certain regions, hybrid or alternative powertrains could potentially fit into similar architectures. Simplicity today doesn't block flexibility tomorrow. It protects it, and that long-term thinking is very Toyota. They rarely chase headlines. They chase durability in products and in strategy. While others sprint, they pace. While others promise disruption, they build resilience. So when critics ask whether choosing petrol and diesel in an EV era was a mistake, the better question might be this: mistake for whom? For urban early adopters, maybe,